The frost monster reached out its giant claw, attempting to stop the helicopter from taking off. As they passed by, David looked aside and saw a colorful aurora illuminating the sky. At the end of the fourth installment, the four main characters finally managed to escape from a near-death situation. Little did they know, they once again fell into the hands of the Emperor organization. They were imprisoned and separated from each other. Both Lisa and Tammy displayed strong resistance emotions. Carrying a damaged laptop, Duel entered the room where Mary was being held captive. Duel believed that Mary must have left a backup in advance. Although Mary couldn't move while lying down, she kept swearing at them. Mary suggests that they should go after the beast. Duel found several fake passports belonging to Mary and then left a business card. He coldly exited the room. When Duel returned to the surveillance room, he reported his opinions to the two leaders. He believed that Lisa and Tammy were just ordinary people and could hardly be of any help in dealing with the giant monster. However, Mary was different. Although she wasn't officially wanted, her behavior indicated that she was hiding her past. Tim advocated for informing Lisa and Tammy that they had the blood of the Emperor organization flowing in their bodies. They should be recruited into the organization. Duel supported this idea. If Lisa and Tammy insisted on finding their father, Bernie, they would inevitably become involved with the Emperor organization. The most troublesome issue was how to deal with the veteran David. Tammy, Mary, and Lisa were released. Tim personally provided them with passports and apologized for his mistakes. After playing the family card, Tim raised his voice and warned the three young people that they had recklessly entered a dangerous world. While their lives are still alive, they should go home and live a peaceful life as soon as possible. Then, in a huff, Tim climbed into the car. Duel praised Tim for improving his acting skills. The three of them entered the airport, preparing to take a flight back to Tokyo. However, Tammy stepped forward and opposed the idea. She claimed that Tokyo was no longer their home, and besides, David's fate was uncertain, and his father Bernie's whereabouts were unknown. They had finally confirmed that David was alive, and they couldn't give up now. Bernie had a studio in San Francisco, and it was worth trying their luck there. Mary had no choice but to admit that she had backup data. However, she felt that continuing on this path could put their lives in danger. Lisa took the opportunity to persuade Mary. The scene shifted back to the room where David was being held captive by the Emperor organization. Suddenly, a bright light illuminated the wall, and a projector started playing a video recording of David and Dr. Andrew. David was instantly moved to tears. At that moment, the door opened, and a female leader walked in. David recognized her as Weir, the deputy director of the Emperor organization. The two were familiar with each other. We released David from the handcuffs, but David was not grateful. David had been oppressed by the younger generation in the organization for over a decade, and he had no desire to cooperate with the current leadership. We reminded David that a few days ago, he had brought 3 civilians to Alaska, and they almost lost their lives because of him. David started to argue back, stating that the 3 young individuals had achieved more in recent years than the Emperor organization. We continued to pressure him, stating that if David didn't cooperate, he would remain in captivity. In the surveillance room, Duel asked him a question. Duel couldn't believe that David had joined the organization after 1950, which would make him over 90 years old. Duel can't tell at all. David is really weird. Tim also didn't know. Only heard that David made a mistake during a mission. The specific details of David's error are a secret, and how David managed to escape from the nursing home, and then immediately discover the Titan monster. We provided David with food. She changed her attitude, intended to continue persuading David. David, of course, was not satisfied. What has the Emperor organization been doing? The organization even allowed Godzilla and Mothra to battle. Did the organization ever consider what would happen if Godzilla lost? We changed the subject. She continued to pressure David for information about Dr. Andrew. What other secrets are in the data? David was annoyed. These are all facts that you all know, but you refuse to believe. He looked up at the camera and issued a warning. The Emperor organization has taken the wrong path. The Emperor organization has been making mistakes for a long time, continuing to follow the perspective of the 3 young individuals. They flew from Tokyo to San Francisco. Lisa's mother's colleague, James, picked them up in a small truck. Lisa showed resistance, probably sensing that James and her mother may have more than just a colleague relationship. They were on their way back home. Their conversation mentioned, after San Francisco became a ruin, residents were relocated to the suburbs. Of course, some people took the opportunity to organize tours of the ruins. Tammy's mother had signed up before. Presumably, she is looking for Bernie's whereabouts. James stopped the car in the community. Lisa's mother, Caroline, ran out of the house. She gave her daughter a big hug. Then she warmly welcomed 2 guests from Tokyo. Lisa didn't want to waste time. She introduced this person as Tammy. She discovered her father's other family in Tokyo. Caroline forced a smile. She invited the guests into the house. The room was somewhat messy, because the jobs that Caroline and James work in they came from the destroyed old city. They search for meaningful items for the residents. Lisa asked Tammy and Mary to go to her room. so that she could talk privately with her mother. When Caroline learned that Lisa wanted to explore Bernie's studio at night, Caroline expressed strong opposition. The military has sealed off the devastated area. The military deals with looters inside, either by arresting or killing them. But Lisa's attitude was very determined. Her mother had no choice but to compromise. In the evening, the group boarded a small truck and arrived at the checkpoint of the reconstruction area. Caroline bribed the guards with money and passed through smoothly. Caroline stopped the car in an uninhabited area. She let 3 young people out. Caroline reminded them to gather back here at 8 a.m., because the checkpoint would close in another 15 minutes. The 3 of them left the main road. They walked towards the destroyed buildings. Lisa walked on familiar streets. The once bustling community had become a home for stray cats. They walked a little further. The 3 of them almost ran into patrolling soldiers. They had to crouch down. They hid behind a nearby vehicle. The soldiers issued a warning, ordering them to come out obediently. Tammy had a quick idea. He threw a bag of chips behind the soldiers. Immediately, several cats gathered to eat. The soldiers saw that it was cats. They cursed and disbanded, although they continued to move forward in the dark. Tammy, to lighten the mood, he took the lead in singing the advertising song. Lisa remembered. This is also what his father would do when he makes him happy. She couldn't help but join in singing. They finally relaxed for a few minutes. When the 3 of them turned a corner, they encountered resting soldiers not far away. The soldiers clearly saw the 3 of them. One of them grabbed a weapon and chased after them. The 3 of them hid in the basement of a building. Lisa's phobia immediately kicked in.
Help me.
Tammy and Mary on the left and right. They pulled Lisa and hid behind the wall. Several people living in the basement. They drew the attention of the soldiers. The 3 of them took the opportunity to run in the opposite direction. However, as they approached the ruins, Lisa remembered the Tesla incident that day. She was always unwilling to walk under the rubble. Her 2 companions kept encouraging Lisa. The 3 of them moved forward and backward together. Finally, Lisa regained her courage. The 3 of them walked in the underground passage for a while. They found that it was all dead ends. Lisa remembered the scene when her father said goodbye to her. She vented her anger towards Tammy. Both of them knew that Lisa had psychological trauma. Tammy suggested exploring an exit on his own. Mary continued to comfort Lisa, to help her calm down. After only a while, Tammy came back with good news. He followed the cats and found an exit. The 3 of them searched for the sound of cats. They indeed walked out of the underground passage. Not far away was Bernie's former studio. The 3 of them arrived safely at the empty building. They found Bernie's studio. Tammy remembered the office in Tokyo, but there was no second safe on the wall. Lisa noticed that map. They realized that it was indeed a world map, but the 5 continents were missing. Mary pulled out a tablet. She found the map from Dr. Andrew's files. Tammy suddenly had a brilliant idea.
How putting one image on another can reveal something completely new.
Tammy created through projection. He combined the marked points on the tablet with the map. The locations where the giant creatures appeared were marked on the map, and the next coordinate point on the map was in Africa. Bernie must be heading to that location. The 3 of them took the map and left the studio. They successfully returned home by riding in a small truck. Lisa said goodbye to her mother, Caroline. Lisa revealed the news that her father, Bernie, was still alive, and she planned to follow in her father's footsteps. Lastly, Mary avoided everyone. She dialed Duel's phone number. She reported the latest discoveries. Although the Titan monsters didn't appear in this episode, it filled in the worldview of the Emperor's plan for us. The main group planned to go to Africa. In Africa, what kind of new monsters will we encounter? Let's look forward to the next episode. Alright, that's it for today's video. See you in the next episode.